Hi, and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that talks about players that have been linked with a summer transfer move to the Arsenal. And I was really having a chuckle and a laugh yesterday because I was saying to myself, when that whole rumour came out yesterday about Arsene Wenger having £200 million to spend, I was saying to myself, I could only just imagine Arsene Wenger when that story came out, eating his toast or, his cornflakes. He must have just spat it straight out when he heard the news that one of his directors had come out and said he's got £200 million to spend. You know that Wenger is going to be really upset about that. And he was quick yesterday to come out and refute that story and to say that, listen, I haven't got £200 million to spend. That's not accurate. I mean, he was pretty, forceful of it, saying that, that is simply not true. I do not have that sort of money to spend. But it was funny, right? They have certainly got a lot of money to spend at Arsenal. And Wenger's been saying that, listen, I'm willing to spend it if the right type of player comes along. And the other thing I knew would happen is that as soon as these rumours came out that this big money was there to spend, that Arsenal would start getting linked with some big players. And they have been today. Marco Reus. Yes, there hasn't been many Reus rumours around this summer. But this website called Tut America to Web, I heard a lot, you see a lot of rumours coming out of this website. None of them sort of, backed up by much evidence. But they claim that Arsenal are ready to make a move for Marco Reus of over £40 million. And they're saying that, they're, now that they've got all this money, they're willing to jump in and spend. And listen, as I said, it doesn't seem to be backed up by any evidence whatsoever. Reus, we know, signed a new contract recently with Dortmund. We know that Liverpool have been very interested in him, but he was never going to go to Liverpool and play for a club that's not in the Champions League. Most likely destination, if he does leave at all, will be Real Madrid, and it will be for some big money. I very much doubt that you will see Reus going to Arsenal. And again, we've got to consider, as I've been saying for a little while now, the injury record of Reus is pretty poor, which means he's probably fitting well at Arsenal. But it is poor, and that will be a worry, spending a lot of money on him. I mean, there's even been rumours that he's been carrying a little injury in pre-season at the moment. So the Reus rumours out there today for Arsenal, based on the fact, I think, that it's been put out there that Arsenal have got this big war chest to spend. But I'm very much throwing a lot of doubt on it. As is, there's a rumour out there today linking Aaron Ramsey with Barcelona. Now, that's sort of all of that based on the strength of an interview that he gave, where he said that he's flattered by the links linking him to Barcelona. And he said this before, because there were rumours. These rumours were a couple of months ago, where they said that Barcelona were considering a £50 million move for Aaron Ramsey. I remember at the time a lot of people saying, that's a lot of money, Ramsey, 50 million. Well, you think about it, 24 years of age, top player. The only time he's not performed over the past couple of seasons really has been when he's injured. So, he's been one of the top performing midfielders around Europe. He's a consistent, excellent box-to-box player. As I said, he's still young, international player, playing really well at the moment for Wales. If Sterling went for 49 million, why is Aaron Ramsey not worth 50 million? So, but he's saying, listen, I'm flattered by the links. And do you know what he said? One day I wouldn't mind playing in Spain, but at the moment, I'm an Arsenal player. I don't want to leave. I'm happy at Arsenal, and I want to stay at Arsenal, win trophies. And that's really nice to hear. And even though there's links out there today, he won't be joining Barcelona. For starters, they can't sign no one until December. They've already signed Arda Turan. So that midfield, I mean, their midfield is even more congested than our midfield at the moment. They've got so many players playing in the same sort of position. So No danger of Ramsey going off to Barcelona this season, but I suppose if he has a great season this year and does win things, Barcelona may come hovering. Now, another player linked to the move to Arsenal is Fernando Llorente. A source actually told, close to Juventus, told an English newspaper when they asked him about Llorente being linked to Manchester United. The source is quoted of saying, it's Arsenal who've been in contact, not Manchester United. They've made an inquiry, but no bid. And as I've always been saying all along with these shows, an inquiry can be just that, an inquiry. What's the status of Fernando Llorente now that you've bought in Mandzukic and you've bought in Dybala? What is the status? You're looking to sell, how much, etc. I mean, it's due diligence, isn't it? If you're a top football club, that when certain players become available, that you take a look. I mean, it could be that he's very, very cheap, very low wages, and you know, you might say to yourself, "Oh, I might as well take a little punt on this guy." You know, certainly the noise is coming from Arsene Wenger is that he's only going to be going out to buy real top quality players. Llorente a couple of seasons ago was considered that. His stock has really fallen though at Juventus, and that age, 30 years of age. And again, I was saying he's too similar for me to Olivier Giroud. Another player that we're going to get a chance to take a look at this weekend, take a look at and find out what all the hype's been about, is Alexandre Lacazette. No, you won't be watching him on FIFA. You'll be able to watch him live in the flesh as he takes part in the Emirates Cup for Lyon this weekend. Inevitably, the questions have been raised again. Are Arsenal going to move for Lacazette? His club, Lyon, are saying he is not for sale. The player has said that he's not really interested in moving this summer. I'll tell you what, a lot of what will sort of go on around Lacazette may depend on how he performs in this Emirates Cup. If he really blazes it up in the Emirates Cup and puts in a really impressive performance, there might be a lot of Arsenal fans out there clambering for him to be bought in. It may even convince the manager that, you know what, let's go big on this guy. Because I was thinking about this, you know what, Lacazette saying, oh, I don't want to go, I want to stay. If Real Madrid or Barcelona were in for Lacazette, and I think this is the difference, Manchester City, Chelsea, even though Lacazette will be saying, I'm staying, and the club's saying he's staying, you'd be thinking to yourself, yeah, you're saying he's staying, but he's going, mate. As soon as the money comes in, he'll be gone. You don't always get that sense with Arsenal, and that's where I kind of moan a lot of times about our lack of aggression when it comes to targets, when it comes to certain players that we know we really want. I'm not saying we really want Lacazette, but are we aggressive enough? I mean, look at Manchester City at the moment with this Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne only just bought to Wolfsburg last season. Wolfsburg are saying he's not going nowhere. De Bruyne is saying he's happy, but you still get the feeling with the aggression that Man City are showing towards this transfer and the willingness to pay a little bit over the odds for the player, you still get the feeling that they might get De Bruyne. Now, Arsenal just don't seem to operate that way, and it can be frustrating at times, because I think if we really want a player like Lacazette, we should be able to get a player like Lacazette. You know, it's not like a Benzema situation where he's at you know, Real Madrid. This guy's at Lyon. No disrespect to Lyon, they're a very good team, but they haven't got the money and etc. that Arsenal have got. If we really want him, we're supposed to just show the aggression and go out there and get him. But I suppose we'll find out this weekend if the guy lives up to the hype. I mean, I know what the fans are like. There was one bad performance by Higuain in that final of the Copa America, and every Arsenal fan went from get Higuain, get Higuain into saying, no way, we don't want him anywhere near the club. It can go that way. So let's see how he performs at the Emirates Cup. Wojciech Szczesny, real goalkeeper merry-go-round seem to be happening at the moment at Arsenal. Petr Cech, of course, has come in. We was all thinking that Wojciech Szczesny is going to be the number 2. It's been confirmed by Arsene Wenger that it's almost certain that he's going to be joining Roma on loan. Wenger saying that, listen, I want the guy to go out there and get experience. I still rate him as a keeper. I want him to return back. We're sending him out on a 1-year loan. so that he can get game time. And I suppose it'd be good for Wojciech Szczesny with the Euros coming up next year. He's been really out of favour in that Polish team. Fabianski ahead of him at the moment, and that a lot of that on the strength that Fabianski plays week in, week out. Szczesny wouldn't be, well, it hasn't been last season and wouldn't be this season for sure at Arsenal. So by going to Roma, that will give him a chance to play week in, week out and stake a claim to get into the Polish team for the Euros. And of course, Wenger saying there that, listen, I'll have him back. I think he's a top player. He's talented. I've got faith in him, and I'll take him back. I seem to remember, however, Wenger saying that he'll bring back Podolski as well, and similar things saying to that, and he was sold. And it's going to be very interesting to see what happens after that loan move. But certainly it looks like Szczesny definitely on his way to Roma. Who's going to be the number 2? I'm assuming it's going to be David Ospina, but there have still been rumours linking him with moves away. And then we've been linked today with a player called Marco Amelia. He used to play back in the day for AC Milan, recently been playing for Perugia. He's been linked, we've been told from sources over there in Italy that he's been linked with a move to Arsenal. I wonder if he's coming in as a number 2, or possibly he could be coming in as a number 3. Yes. And the reason for that is because Emilio Martinez, the young Argentinian keeper that Arsenal have, he's only 22, this guy, remember, has been also linked with another loan move. It looks like Arsenal might be loaning him out again. He went out on loan towards the end of last season. I think it was to Rotherham. Again, Wenger likes Martinez. I remember when he came in actually for those few games last season, and he looked decent. You know, he's only 22. That's very young for a keeper. He's quite a tall keeper, decent shot stopper. Obviously, he's still a bit raw, but it looks like Arsene Wenger's going to be looking to loan him out. So maybe that link in Marco Amelia makes sense, as him maybe coming in possibly as a number 3 goalkeeper. He's vastly experienced. Ospina maybe then takes the number 2 spot, and Martinez and Wojciech Szczesny goes out on loan. That is a real goalkeeper merry-go-round. You see what you've done, Petr Cech? You've just cleared out a load of keepers. I mean, let's wait and see what happens with that. But it's certainly Szczesny's on his way out, and Cech firmly establishing himself as number 1. And I like the combination of Petr Cech as 1 and Ospina as 2. I like that combination for this season. I think that gives us a rock solid foundation in the goalkeeper ranks. And yeah, I'm hoping that, you know, we keep Ospina in there as the number 2. Right, let's get into some of your comments. Of course, yesterday there were the links linking Robert Lewandowski to Arsenal. Stewie Griffin says Lewandowski, impossible. He's the only out-and-out striker for Bayern Munich, and he plays every match. We've got about the same chance of getting Messi. you might not be too wrong there, mate. Trust me. Alexis Sanchez says, what did I say? I told everyone on here Lewandowski was linked to Arsenal weeks ago, and all you idiots acted like you were smart. Being linked to Arsenal, I mean, everybody's linked to Arsenal. That doesn't really mean much. You know what I mean? Every single player, top player, seems to get linked to Arsenal. It's whether they're coming or not. I really don't think there's any chance that Bayern Munich are going to sell Lewandowski. I agree with that first guy. There's no, you know, I just can't see it. Aaron Singh says, buy Lewandowski and Bale. But what will we get? We're certainly not going to get them. He said there isn't any quality players who can strengthen our squad out there. I wouldn't say there isn't quality players out there that can strengthen our squad. There is quality players out there who can strengthen our squad. It's whether we're able to bring them in or not. In the case of Benzema, it depends on a lot of things happening that would then maybe mean that Real Madrid might be willing to sell him. On some of the other strikers, it depends on how, as I said, like a Lacazette, if he is good enough. We don't know yet. We've heard a lot of, you know, things about this guy. If he is good enough, then it depends on how aggressive Arsenal are, how determined they are to get that player, even though the player looks like an immovable object. Marco says, didn't Wenger come out and say that United are trying to buy glory? And he says, laugh out loud. I think he's a United fan. And he said, and he has £200 million at will to spend on transfers. And you can't get a top-notch defensive midfielder or striker. Now, listen, they're looking for a striker. As I said, it doesn't look like Arsenal are looking to get a defensive midfielder. That's how it seems to me. It looks to me like they're happy with what they've got there, but they are looking to get a striker. It's got to be the right striker. Even your team, Manchester United, looking for a striker, but it's got to be the right striker. It's got to be. You know, there's no point in bringing in a striker just for the sake of it and they're no better than what you've got. Doesn't make sense. Genesis says, this could be the directors covering themselves and one director's way of pushing Arsene Wenger to sign someone, possibly. Reus, Benzema and Matuidi, says Noel Otten. Wishful thinking, sounds nice, but whether it will happen or not, we'll have to wait and see. Those are some big targets there. And Idat Singh says, telling the whole world we have loads of money is pretty stupid, almost too stupid, which makes me think that he's trying to impress a certain player and outline the club's ambitions to convince them to move to Arsenal, in which case it could be a very smart move, albeit for pretty risky. And I think he's talking about Benzema there. Number one target for Arsenal, but, you know, I was trying to keep it a Benzema free zone today. It's almost impossible to do that at the moment with all the links flying around. Emirates Cup today. We're going to be down there. If you're down there today at the Emirates Stadium, we'll be doing some interviews after the game. We'll be doing a few interviews before the game as well. We'll be catching up with the fans. Make sure you come over and say hello. Be interesting to see how the team played today. They looked very, very good last week over there in Singapore. Let's hope they've carried that pre-season stuff through, up against some very good opposition this weekend, Wolfsburg and Lyon. And as I said, it's going to be really interesting to see Lacazette and De Bruyne actually in action. And of course, the return of Lord Bentner. Thanks for watching Arsenal Fan TV today. We'll be back same time tomorrow with another AFTV Transfer Daily.